it in the north side. Looking for a vibe on the Friday night shit. Ain't that right? Me and both my niggas kick it in the north side.
What's up, guys? It's Kontent Kingz. You are now sitting with royalty.
You
okay?
see the vibes.
You know yeah, you might notice if you're watching us on YouTube, we have masks, Kontent Kingz mask, delivered and brought to you by Evia.
My mom.
Shout out Evia.
Hi, Mom.
We love you. Thank you.
Shout
for
out,
support.
Mom.
Shout out to Miss
Shout out,
Evie.
Mom. So this episode we're gonna talk about mental health, and of course we're gonna talk a little bit about Black History Month. So this should be a good one. It should be fun. Let's get to it. So again, my name is Drew. Let's introduce ourselves. My name is Drew.
It's Khalil.
It's your boy Carson.
Kyler.
This is Jerm.
Shout out man Jaron to be exact. All right, guys. So where do you guys want to start with mental health?
I guess we can start off just, how are you guys mentally right now? What's your mental space like?
Question.
That's a great question.
I'm solid. I'm really good right now mentally. Like, you know, taking every day at a time, doing my little de-stressors, play little video games here and there. I do go on walks. I'm working out a lot. I'm eating healthier, which again I think is a big part of mental health, making sure you eat right. So yeah, me personally, I'm doing good.
I'd say same. I don't ever get too high or too low with things. When I do, I kind of just have talks with myself internally, kind of put things to the side, kind of realize certain things I shouldn't over exaggerate about, certain things it's not that big of a deal, and that's what kind of keeps me even killed. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not too stressed right now. Play video games, just sleep, and just chill, just to keep my stress down.
I like that. I'm doing all right. I think I'm a little bit overwhelmed, a little stressed these days, and I have been most of 2021 so far. And I'm kind of trying to figure out the best ways to remedy that. You know, I go for walks as well. Went for a run today, which is the first time I did that in a little bit, so I felt good.
How was that?
It was fun, man. I had an adrenaline rush, to be honest with you, so it was good. Felt good. What's it called? Endorphins?
I was gonna say, got the endorphins going.
Yep, that felt good. Spending time with family, friends, you know, try to keep a balance, but you know, definitely been stressed lately, but I'm getting through it.
My mental, where I'm at right now mentally, I'm a little bit exhausted just because I have a good amount of stuff on my plate, and I'm like kind of trying to get used to being a full-time employee. I've been working like over 40 hours a week, but that's on me. Like, I chose to put that on my plate because I'm like trying to stack bread right now, you know what I mean? But the thing with that is I've noticed that I haven't given myself enough free time to like take care of other things that I want to take care of. Not necessarily like the podcast or anything of that sort, but I do want to get another job. But like, for me to even get that job, I haven't given myself enough time to like even like fill out applications and stuff like that, or like even like search for jobs and whatnot. Yeah. Like, I notice I'll get home and I'll be tired. I'll take care of like, you know, some chores and stuff, things I gotta do to get ready for the next day, and then go to sleep and have the next day happen. Just because majority of my shifts are 12-hour shifts, so it's like I don't even have time. Like, once I get home, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to crash. You know?
I was gonna say, the other night we were on the game, and I remember you were trying to multitask and play and also fill out an application, and it was kind of stressing you out because you couldn't figure out how to set something up or submit something.
I do remember that.
And you know, just stuff like that. It's like you trying to do two things at once when really, you know, you got to sometimes just stop and press pause and focus on one.
Yeah. But other than that, you know, life's good.
So I guess my follow-up question would be, has your mental state always been like this? Obviously it's a new year, but we're still on lockdown. It's almost been a full year. Well, before I do that, Jerm, do you want to talk about your mental state before I continue?
Yeah. What's up, everybody? I'm doing all right. Yeah. I don't know. I want to say my mental health right now is not so good. Obviously, she didn't know my cousin passed away, and it's even more tough that he passed away on Christmas Day. Also, he took his own life, so that's another thing to put on top. But you know, just I'm going through it. But I feel like, talking to people, talking to you guys, getting checked up by everybody, it really helps, because if you didn't have like a circle of friends or family that you can't really, that you can rely on, and that'll talk to you, despite what you're feeling, it's just good to have, just talking about things. And if you can't talk about something to anyone, you don't feel comfortable, that's totally fine, man. Talk to yourself, or like go on a walk, or do something. There's a lot of things that you could do. We'll probably talk about it later on, but ways to cope with stress, with death, obviously, and all these other mental health things that people go through. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, we'll talk more later on. But I'm like 50 right now, so
I hear you.
just got to speak the honest truth.
Yeah, so to continue with what I was going to ask, so obviously this is our current state right now in 2021, so, and us being on lockdown for almost a year. So what was you guys' mental state throughout, I guess, like the first half of quarantine?
Of the lockdown?
Of lockdown, quarantine.
Yeah. Me personally, it's been good kind of throughout the whole thing. I was struggling to find full-time work all the way up until like a week before lockdown, like when stuff really hit the fan. So for me, as I've always been kind of just think of the bigger picture of how thankful I was for everything. Even at my job, I work at like a homeless shelter. So whatever problems I did have, it was always less important than what the problems that they tell me that they have. Like just things just are not as extreme in my life as it is in theirs, no matter what happens in my life. So I'm always comparing that and taking it one day at a time and just being thankful for everything that I have on my end. And then luckily none of my family members has passed away or anything from COVID or different things like that. And everyone is doing okay. And from different situations, as like I have these girls who I went to school with, their mother passed a day before their mother's birthday. They were gonna do this big thing to celebrate. So when you hear stuff like that, or even Jaren's story, it's really like you feel for them, but it makes you thankful and really just cherish what you do have. So for me personally, I've been blessed on my end. I'm doing great. Like I have been kind of chilling.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, obviously we come from privileged backgrounds, so like even when I am down on myself and things like that, I always do put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Kind of just thinking like I might be feeling some type of way. I might have to do a chore I don't want to do, but there's always a lot worse that people are going through.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, yeah, same like you. I've been good, honestly. I had a job at the start of lockdown, got laid off, which I was fine with. I thought it was a blessing in disguise. I didn't need to be there anymore, and I actually had time just to like decompress off life, just school and automatically working and just all these things that was going on. So, and I ended up coming out with a full-time job as well. So I mean, I actually haven't really gone through much this whole time, which is another blessing, like you said.
Yeah.
My family's been healthy. My cousin did catch COVID, but she's good, thank God. But other than that, yeah, I've been good. Family's been good.
That's kind of the main thing I wanted to point out, is like it's all about perspective, because your question was basically comparing it to last year, right? Is what you're saying? Yeah. So then my thing with being in the position I'm in now is like, I'm sure Carson could attest to this, and all of you guys really, but I know Carson because I spent a good amount of time with him, like at coffee shops and whatnot, and Jerem too, where like the whole time I was saying like, bro, I just gotta graduate. Like that was the only thing on my mind. Like, look, when I graduate and I pass this NCLEX exam, and I get my license, like I'll be chilling. Like it's cool. So for me, it's more of, and like I know I've heard some celebrities talk about this too, but it's like, putting things into perspective and thinking like that literally just last year, which is what, a couple months ago, I was talking about like how much I wanted this, and it's where I'm at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, although it is kind of stressful now that I'm here, like just thinking about it in that light, it's like, bro, this is what I've been wanting.
Were we in New Orleans this time last year?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say y'all
about
might
like
have
2
been.
weeks, we were having the time of our lives.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's like that was one of the trips I didn't get to go on because I was like, look, I just got to be finished with school.
Yeah,
And here I am now, finished with school. Obviously, we didn't think COVID was and the pandemic was gonna hit this hard. So
I
like
didn't
I
think it
thought
at
I'd be
all.
able to enjoy, graduation a little bit more, enjoy the money I'm making. But that's not the case. Also, I thought like my job situation coming out of school would have been better, but I'd say due to the pandemic, like it hasn't been what I thought it would be.
You got to get what you can.
Yeah, but nonetheless, I've been blessed.
but when we get our vaccines though, we're traveling again. This is what it is. I get my vaccine tomorrow. So wish me luck, y'all.
I'd say when it's safe,
Thank you.
because the vaccinations itself isn't gonna
Way to
stop
be
everything.
rational, nurse.
But it's,
Immediately.
it's neither here nor there. I'm not
Immediately.
a medical expert or anything.
I just dabble in the field a little bit.
I'm not even gonna go. I'm not even gonna wait for the second one. I'll just get the second one when I can. Go travel right after the first one.
Drake said, "Get it with how you can."
What about you, Carson?
Um,
First half or lockdown?
I think my mental health was probably at the very beginning. I think I was numb to a lot of things. Witnessing this pandemic unfold and witnessing these racial injustices, like from a societal level, it was kind of it's shocking, seeing so many problems and different issues going on. And my mental health was good in the summertime. I got a new job that I was really grateful for. That really put me into the type of work I think I see myself doing in the longer term.
Shout out, Mr. King.
And I had a new relationship that I started. And witnessing the Dodgers and Lakers win the championship. I know people complain when we talk about sports, but it was a good time. I look back on summer 2020.
And side note, Dominic cut you off. And we don't care. We're gonna talk about sports. Continue.
Yeah,
It's our platform, we talk about
I
what we
look back
want.
at the summer, and those are some highlights. But as of late, my mental health has taken a turn a little bit, and I'm just trying to figure out how to manage it in as healthy of ways as possible. I think, like all of you said, it's about perspective, right? So in the grand scheme of things, I have a roof over my head, food, water, shelter, all those very basic things, family, friends. But still, day to day, there are things that stress you, and like Kyler mentioned, personally, my plate has never been as full as it is. And it takes a toll for sure. It definitely, there's days where I'm just like, man, I don't want to be bothered by anything or anyone. I want to go to a remote island and be by myself, Obviously, that's not feasible, so you deal with it. But that's just, an accurate description of sometimes what I wish I had to get away from some of the things that stress me. So, like I alluded to at the top, just trying to find ways to manage it and deal with it as best I can. I've been looking into different types of meditations. Not too deeply, but I'm just trying to see what that's about and different ways to be more mindful and spiritual to keep yourself ready, to keep yourself right. Excuse me.
So yeah, talking about that, my next question is gonna be: so how do you guys go about managing stress and mental health when you are in that position where you kind of need to find a coping mechanism that's healthy?
Yeah. Before I say this, I'm gonna put you onto this meditation thing that I peeped the other day.
Okay,
And don't knock it before you try it. I need you to try it though.
I'm open to it.
Okay.
Cool.
You guys wait. You guys are gonna love what I show.
Like
But-
on the meditation routine or
Kinda. I'll put you on. And then afterwards, when you try it, maybe we can come on and talk about it. Okay.
I hope it's
Alright.
like deep breathing. Some deep breathing stuff is good. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So what I do when I am stressed, my first thing I go to is I try to take like a 30-minute nap. I try to take a quick nap, and the reason why I do that because I think it works on my breathing. Like even to try to get relaxed to go to sleep, it gets me into a center that I need to just relax. Even if I can't actually take the nap, just standing in one spot or laying down in
I
one
was like,
spot
damn,
and being still.
you sleep standing up, bro?
Like- Vampire, bro.
Laying down in one spot and being
Conehead.
still, it helps me. It helps me a lot. And then it just allows my thoughts to slow down because I'm not moving as much.
Mhm.
Usually when I get antsy and nervous, I tend to move around. Like it's either my foot or I'm pacing back and forth. Like, I'm usually a pacer. Like I'll pace and I won't
Indiana?
and I won't even notice it. That's the first thing I do. And then after I usually have someone to talk to. If it's not my mother's, my father. Those two people are like I go to them first. And then after that, I kind of just like for some reason after I talk to them and they've been through some things, and I'm very fortunate, and they weren't always as fortunate growing up. So just hearing the things that they went through and then understanding like what I'm going through really isn't as big of a deal as I think it is. It usually centers me, and I'm just like, all right, now what? You know what I mean? Like my go-to is usually I call my mother. Like on most things, I'll be like, Mom, so what do you think? But she's kind of like a licensed therapist too, so it's not even like a mama's boy type of thing. Like she really has a skill for it. So she always breaks it down and like to what I'm actually thinking, as opposed to like, you know, when you're feeling something you can't put into words. She usually helps me put those into words. Then once I put it into words, I'm like, okay, so that's what it is,
Horny?
and it's really not that big of a deal. What did you say?
Horny?
No,
Okay.
no.
Just checking.
But no.
No, I'm
no,
just playing.
no.
I don't mean to downplay it, but no, I feel that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you are actually able to define what it is you're feeling or whatever you're experiencing, like it kind of gives you a better grasp on it.
Yeah, because I think for me, what makes me most nervous is me not understanding how I'm feeling.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's just like a fear of like, well, what do I do? Because I don't really know how to solve this problem. But once I understand what the problem is, it's only two things you can do. And then at that point, it's like just make a decision, and you know, deal with it.
Like deal with the consequences. Yeah.
I'm pretty good at
it's
making a
more
decision and just finding out what the problem is. It's hard for me.
It's more of like a fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
And we should, I mean, I know we all want to answer, but I think later on we should unpack what you touched on, which is why we sometimes don't know what things are called, and about how talking about mental health in our communities and our culture, and as men, sometimes it's not something we really knew how to do until it came into the broader conversation. And I think that's relevant because it makes it difficult to really understand what's going on because we never really speak on it. But we could answer the question as well. I just want to come back to that later.
Okay. My coping mechanism, I just put things in perspective. I usually just talk to myself. If it's like more serious than what I can handle myself, I usually call my nana.
You talk to yourself a lot?
Yeah.
You have a lot of self conversations? Like voices or?
No, like thinking. When you think, you talk to yourself.
Okay.
So I talk to myself, just kind of rationalize things, see if it's serious, if it's not, things I could do to fix things, how I could have gone about things differently, things like that. Then if I can't do the critical thinking and problem solving myself, then that's when I go out and find help. But 9 times out of 10, I don't in my life personally, I don't ever have to go through stress and things like that where I feel overwhelmed, where I don't feel I can go through it without or with help, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, if that doesn't work, neither doesn't work, and I just still think I go to sleep like you. Sleep is probably one of my top 2 coping mechanisms.
You want to go?
I can if you need me to.
Go ahead.
As far as coping mechanisms go, I'd have to agree with Khalil. For me, I don't really stress too much. Like it's nothing really major for me. Like you guys know, I'm more like go with the flow. Like it is what it is. Like I understand that there are things I can control, but I also understand there's things out of my control. So it's like, why stress? And I think part of it too is my parents. Like growing up, I could tell that they had a lot of stress going on with them, and I saw like the negative impacts that stress put on them. And so for me personally, I think that's where I guess you could describe it as like a lackadaisical attitude comes from. Because I'm more of like, all right, well, I've seen the negative effects of stress, so how about I just not stress, you know what I mean? But when there are things that are stressful, I'd say working out is a good one. Those endorphins hit, and it's like, all right, like you feel accomplished and whatnot.
I forgot about that because I haven't been able to work out.
No, same, and I haven't either. And I think that's part of what's difficult during this time, like with COVID, is things being shut down and whatnot. Like, people aren't able to go to their usual coping mechanism sometimes, Yeah,
I'm working out. Pretty cool. I think that helps me a lot, working out. Hit a park.
Because then also it goes hand in hand with what you were saying with, like, sleep. Like, after a workout, that sleep
feels
hits,
better. Yeah.
So, yeah, that, and then you just also feel a little bit more accomplished, like, a little more productive, because you're doing something that's helpful to your body, you know what I mean? I haven't really been beating my meat these days.
You haven't been?
No. And I know like people go to that for as stress relief, but these days it's I don't know. It's just
You know, I heard one of my. It's funny that you said that because that's kind of one of the meditations I was gonna bring up to you. Like, it wasn't gonna be exactly that, but it was in a form of that. And
I'm just
still
glad
gonna
we're
talk to you
being
about
real.
it.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
like
So I'll bring it up now. Okay. So there's this meditation that
Look
was
what you
brought to
did.
my attention, and it's like climaxing without actually ejaculating. Right.
That's called edging.
Oh yeah.
I've seen on TikTok about that.
That's like
I haven't. I don't know if that's the exact. Well, probably.
that's
So,
like a kink.
No. So maybe, but let me just explain what I know, because
okay.
you guys might know more than me. So, basically, what it is, it's just a way of like keeping your energy inside, and it's like a body climax, right? But you're still holding on all to that sperm that's in you, and supposedly studies say when you ejaculate, you have enough semen or whatever to like populate the world like that as a man. So that's a lot of energy. That's why, like, when you do come or ejaculate, like, you're super tired. You're like, because that's a lot you're putting out into the open world, right? But if you're able to meditate and do whatever without actually ejaculating, keep it inside, it's supposed to be like an empowering feeling.
I think I've heard of something like that, but I think it's just like the no nutting thing, where it's like the alpha male. I forget.
Nah, but
There's
this
something
is,
like
I feel like this is better because you are, in a sense, nutting. You're just not coming.
Have you done this?
No, I haven't.
Like not even being funny.
No. I'm going to, but I haven't done it yet. But I've talked to someone who has, and the other person was like, "Yeah, I tried it too, or whatever. It's the best feeling." Or like, he just got married or whatever.
Because my thing,
and it makes you last longer in bed. It's a whole thing. It's a whole like wave that these older.
But do we need
dudes,
do we need to last longer in bed? Like, is that what we want? Is that what they want? That's a whole conversation.
Well, is it not a? Is it a problem of pleasure?
I'll just
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna try it out and let you know where it goes.
But my biggest thing is like, how do you even go about that? Like, how do you how do you climax without coming? Like,
Look, I haven't opened it up yet, but I just got the app and we're gonna figure it out.
Oh,
Together.
it's an app for it.
Relax.
It's an app
But
for
Together? Hey.
I know what you're thinking, but not like.
Pause.
We're gonna figure this out together.
We're gonna figure it out together individually.
We're gonna look at the app at the same time, and we're gonna go home to our separate houses and our separate
we're gonna
rooms.
have to do a poll on our story.
And we're gonna
hear
try.
Drew's follow-up
We're gonna try
experience
this out. And we're.
with this.
I've never heard of this, and my biggest thing is, how would you even go about doing that?
Look, I haven't opened the app yet. I just talked about it to them today, and
But that's crazy that they really made an app for it. But cool, I guess.
There's an app for everything, I guess.
it's called Stamina.
Whatever he's trying to
called
sell us,
stamina.
I'm not buying it.
I'm good.
Well, you know, you're always late to the game.
I'm
That's
not.
cool.
What I'm saying, you just found out. What I'm saying is, you just found out today, and whatever you're trying to resell to us right now, you're doing a bad job.
Germ said, "Oh, like hold on."
Kegel.
Kegels?
Kegel.
That's been known, bro.
That's
Is this
okay.
English?
That's the app. But I'm telling you, it's something else. That's the app that he was talking about to help with it. But there's a whole book behind it or whatever too. I'm
And
gonna
you
have to
plan on
text him
reading it?
because I'm gonna text the dude right now and be like, send me the info of what you were telling me earlier.
I was gonna say you should just call him up and put him on a mic. Like, look,
I will.
explain to us.
No, we don't. Jesus Christ.
okay.
Where? How do? Okay.
How
do we get here,
Put him by
man?
the
I
mic
don't
though.
know,
I
man.
will. Hopefully he answers. He might be.
Kind of putting your man on the spot, aren't you?
I mean, it is what it is. Fam.
Just be like, hey, fam, we got you on camera.
Yeah.
I feel like you're doing a phone tap right now.
Hey, what's up, Tim? Hey, so listen,
We're filming our
we're
podcast
filming
right
the
now.
podcast right now, right? Yeah. And without putting too much information out there,
This went
I'm
from
trying to
mental
put-
health to sex therapy.
I'm trying to put the homies on what you was telling me earlier about the meditation.
Oh, the meditation?
Yeah.
He said,
So-
"Oh,
So, what is the exact word for it? I know you sent me the app, but that's something kind of different than what you were telling me about with the meditation, right?
Yeah. Something different.
He's
So the
leaving the room, but
meditation
we're
is
on
like-
this. We're live.
Trying to figure out how to quiet your mind, get control of your emotion. So, are you talking about meditation in relation to that app?
In relation to the app.
relation to the app, yeah. So you gotta basically be able to know how to control your urges and control your emotions or whatever. Meditation in relation to that app would be something as far as just figuring out how to tune in with your body, tune in with your mind, and never let yourself get outside. So that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, man. Makes sense.
Okay, without putting up too much out there. All right. What do you know is the exact word for it? So if they wanted to Google it, it's not just like a brief summary. I know there was a book that you said that you read on it.
Yeah. I'll have to send you the cover of the book or the name of the book out to my library and find it. I can't think of a word to search for it, but once you figure that part out, that meditation part out, you basically that's halfway there. Not just for that, but for anything. But if you want to figure out how to do that, then the meditation is key for sure. Gotcha. I can't think of a one-word explanation right now.
Okay, when you get a chance, send me the library cover book or whatever.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna send it to you right now.
All right, thanks, bro. Talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Question.
Yeah.
So are we done with sex therapy or what?
I mean, it's part of mental health.
Yeah, it's part of mental health. Why are you uncomfortable?
No, I'm not uncomfortable, but I think this took a turn to the left.
Why?
Because we were talking about sex therapy now, not mental health.
It goes hand in hand. It's a meditation on to take care of your mental health.
What I'm saying is I get that, but we are deep in this now. So I'm asking, are we going to get back to the subject?
No,
do you have any more questions? I mean, if not,
I mean, we Carson wanted to talk about some other stuff of mental health. We have other things to talk about that.
Educating us.
Okay.
I'm just asking, are we done?
I'm done when you guys are done asking questions.
I had no questions about this.
You're done asking questions?
Yeah, all right, go ahead, Carson.
You guys good?
Yeah.
You guys up to you?
No, I'm good.
So we're going to try it later, yeah? Not together, but.
Pause, bro.
Not together.
I get
Yeah.
it's like fighting the urge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think, like, what Drew was describing, though, made it sound like it was like, oh, yeah, you going to come without coming. Like,
you are. It's a body high, bro. It's like the chills and shit.
I was going to say meditation is you can feel a body high off meditation alone. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But the way you said it like made it sound like it was a whole nother thing. But okay.
We'll talk more.
Anyways, yeah. So where we at?
Carson, back to you.
I don't even know. Me?
I think it was.
It was coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it was Kyler. It was Kyler because you were talking about you don't jack off right now.
I'm pretty much done. Like that was it. That was part of my thing. It's like I haven't been, even though I know like in the past I've probably looked at that as stress relief. I'm sure we all have. Damn, I'm stressed. Oh yeah, the stress is gone. You know what I mean?
What'd you say, G?
So I kind of have the transition.
Okay.
But
go for it.
All right, real quick, because you know how you're saying that you, in a sense, don't get stressed.
I would say so.
Yeah. I said the same. So I had an interview, that phone call interview, and she was like, "Give me a time where you were like extremely stressed, or like I don't know what else she said, but it was something along those lines." My dumbass is like, I don't really get stressed.
That's the thing is like, I mean, for us, like it doesn't seem as big as it would to somebody else, you know what I mean? Like, like what could be a big stressor to somebody is just something small to us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's two different words. Like today, I wasn't.
You gotta lie.
I know.
Make up something.
Like today, I wasn't stressed because I had a lot to do at work, but I was flustered. Because things were getting thrown at me. I wasn't stressed about it, but having to do everything in the timeline, I'm more flustered than stressed. Because it's not a big deal. But I'm not. It's not also not stressing me out. So I get that. I would have probably said nothing either.
I was gonna say that probably is more of just like an interview trick, where like you kind of have to just exaggerate a time that you have been stressed.
No, but that's what I said after. I was like,
that's what I'm saying. So I feel like there's levels to
it. And
so
I did.
Answering that question, stressed, you weren't stressed. But if she said like flustered or scattered or something.
I mean, yeah, I definitely backed it up with some other like an example where like, oh yeah, this happened. But I use meditation and breathing techniques to help that,
She's gonna be like, oh, this dude's weird. He's gonna breathe on me when he's
no, but
I'm just playing.
Yeah, well, to tie with what you said, it's like it's not a bad thing to say you're not stressed, but at the same time, it's not bad at all to to realize that you are stressed.
Yeah, like recognize that it is what it is.
Because after I said that, and then going on with what happened, months prior, I was like, or weeks prior, I was like, low key, I do get stressed.
Everyone gets stressed.
And that's fine. I just gotta admit it, and that's the first thing. You gotta admit you're stressed. You gotta admit you're not there, and that's the first step. Just admitting it to yourself, and admitting it actually makes you feel way better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean,
because it's like you know what you're dealing with. Yeah. But that's why.
Very
like,
well
man,
said.
I'm
Everybody
like,
gets stressed.
yeah.
Yeah. It's just identifying it. That was more what I was talking about with the conversations I had with my mother, and like I feel like I'm angry or whatever, but it's no, I'm stressed.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, once you're stressed, what are you gonna do about what you're stressing about? All right, I'll do this. Okay, cool. This type of thing. Realization, very important. Very important.
Well, yeah, Carson, you wanna let us know how you cope with stress?
I'm sure you guys could tell. Stress and anxiety, they're a little different, but they're both emotions I'm very familiar with. And to be honest with you, I feel like I'm in a state of either one of those or both a lot of the time. And what you said about the realization, it resonates with me because I didn't know that for a long time. Like I would hear my family say, like, "Oh, you gotta stop worrying so much. You gotta relax." And then I went to like my doctor, and she was like, "Yeah, this sounds like anxiety." And just hearing that word kind of stuck with me, because what I always used to imagine as anxiety and seeing people that have it, I guess I didn't know that was me. But when you actually take a step back and look at it, that's exactly what it is. And I can say that I have self-awareness, but so for me, it's not that I have like one or two things I do. It's more so habits I've gradually instituted into my life. So for example, it could be something as simple as breathing techniques, like we talked about. Like deep breaths in a very, like for a certain amount of time, you inhale, exhale. Like that helps me in the moment real quick. It can also look like going for a walk in my neighborhood, going to the beach, just listening to the waves. I also, on like a lesser scale, I listen to lo-fi music a lot, R&B, and different types of smoother types of music, and I find that just the sound of it can bring me a lot of relaxation. And then I don't know. I think there's other times where I don't necessarily cope right away. And I just kind of go through the day being stressed, and then I find myself making up for it later. So what that looks like is, keeping my phone off or on Do Not Disturb and just going to sleep. It can look like hopping on my video game, just getting away from everything for a little bit. And then, of course, like having conversations with, those that are close to me about it can help as well. So that was a long answer. But these are things I didn't do like a year ago. I kind of just would let my stress build up, and I still do. But like I said, I'm still actively looking for more ways to cope with it because I do feel like it's a big issue in my life, and you have to do something about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like you talking about just moving. I think that helps a lot of people who are anxious. That's something I deal with too, but like I'm the pacer, but that actually helps. Like as I'm pacing, I'm working off the anxiety or stress that I have. Like that's always been a thing, like since forever. Like me standing still or sitting still was not as a kid you can't sit still or whatever. But as I would describe it, it was like a feeling in my stomach that like it was just killing me. Like almost like not a stomach ache, but just that anxiety feeling that you get. But it's worse than butterflies. Butterflies is like a nervous thing. This is just like it's killing
No, I'm saying, but like to help you describe it.
Yeah.
That's when I realized it was a real problem. Is I started to notice a pattern. Not to give TMI, but when I get really stressed, like I have to go and puke. Or my stomach gets just really, really upset, like regularly.
Like nauseous?
I'm sorry?
Like nauseous?
Yeah.
That happens to me too.
But that like stress could do that to you. Yeah.
Threw up. Every big game I ever had, I threw up. Every big anything, I throw up. Like that's But then it got to a point where it was like, all right, I threw up. Let's go. Like I wasn't alarmed. Like, oh, am I sick? It was like, oh no,
it's stress.
I threw up, and now I'm good. Like I feel better after it. So it's like you said, identifying what those
Yeah.
things are and embracing them. Like it's no, you're no less of a person because you have to throw up. Like just throw up and then get the job done. You know what I mean? Or like if you know that you have to move because you can't sit still or whatever, like do your business as you're moving. Like make calls. Like I've done that plenty of times. Like as I'm working home remote and I feel like antsy, I'll walk around the neighborhood and do like calls and things I have to do as I'm walking around just to get that feeling of
Yeah.
that stomach feeling of just that horrible like I don't know what I'm doing out of myself. That tends to
That's
work.
so interesting because I'm the opposite. If I go and do one of those things, it's because I want to get away from everything else. Like if I go take a nap, or if I go for a walk or a drive, it's because like I don't want to look at anything else. I don't want to be bothered by anything. Whereas you kind of like work at while you do that. I do it to get away from that.
Yeah, it's the social butterfly in me. Like I need more interaction. Like as I'm closed in, I hate it. So that's when like the anxiety comes in. It's like I don't like that feeling of being in one spot, being in one room, like nobody around. Like I need to see people.
Enclosed.
I need to see things. I need to, and then I'll feel better to do what I got to do. My brother's the exact opposite. Like
Okay.
the
Like he'd
closer the
rather
barriers,
isolate
the better.
himself.
Yeah, he gets anxiety the other way. And I was like, no, I love crowds. Like I feel at home. Huh?
He gets anxiety being.
He told me that, yeah, and I can't understand it, but I do understand that's a
It's
thing.
because your brother's an introvert. You're an
Yeah,
extrovert.
yeah. And so when we talk to each other about things, you're like, no, I don't feel that
He
way
said
at all.
he gets what? I'm sorry.
Like he gets anxiety, like the feeling that I have when I'm in closed spaces or if I'm in one room for too long or different things like that. That's when he's at home. Like he feels he's happy.
Oh, same.
For him, it's when he's in crowds. It's when there's a lot of people around trying to talk to him. It's like attention. It's doing too much. Like that's when he hates it.
Like the
Yeah.
quiet is peace to
The
him.
quietest piece to him. He's been the happiest since quarantine.
I
Like
relate
he's
to
been the
that.
happiest.
I eat breakfast by myself. I love
No, what's crazy is when you posted that and you're like, have you ever? In my head, I was like, bro, all the time.
Yeah, I've done that too. It's nice to do.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about talking to people. I had breakfast by myself the other day, guys.
No, but
And
it's
it
cool.
felt
It is
freaking
cool.
great. And it was like I didn't have to socialize with anybody, didn't have to talk to anybody. Just me and my food and my thoughts.
I think I had
And it
dinner
felt
by
great.
myself too one time.
I've been to the movies by myself before.
Same.
That's cool. Yeah.
Same things, you know. Fun to do sometimes.
It's fun to do stuff by yourself sometimes and just be in your own space.
Yeah.
You know?
I probably have like out of everyone here, I probably do it the least. You know what I mean? Like that's like a very rare.
I don't do it at all. So
You never went to the movies or got food by
I'm-
yourself?
I'm by myself at home all the time.
Oh, okay.
So that's my
So
personal.
that kind of
Yeah.
counts. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of counts. But yeah, I have to go out there.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't go. What I'm saying is, like, I have my alone time all the time, but I don't go out in public for my alone time.
No,
Unless I'm like
right,
running
yeah.
errands and stuff.
See, I think the reason why I do it is probably a different reason than why you guys do it. Because I still want to be out and about. But it's like if no one wants to go with me, like I'll just go. Like
But it's
just
because
to
you're-
still be around the people. or
That's
whatever,
good,
just by
because you're
myself.
extrovert. I'm an
Yeah.
introvert, so I don't mind
Being
in
at
a-
home
yeah,
and just watching a movie in your
yeah,
room.
just
Yeah.
chilling.
I feel that's when I feel weird sometimes. It's like, damn, I'd rather go to the movies to where there's other people watching the same movie as me as opposed to me watching this movie by myself in the room.
Well, that's what's crazy is I'd say like in high school we all did like the PA thing where you find out if you're introvert, extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
My thing was like I was an extrovert back then, but like as I've grown, I found more and more comfort being by myself.
Same.
Quarantine has done that for me too. I mean, you have to.
Even before quarantine,
Yeah.
like quarantine happened, and I was like, oh, I'm living now. Like now I
Facts.
have an
When it hit, I
excuse.
said, say less.
Yeah.
I fluctuate, to be honest. Like I love being alone sometimes, but I need it to keep myself sane. And there's other times where I'm like, man, it's a beautiful day. It's a Saturday. I'm off today. Like, what's up? You know? Where we
Of course,
going?
yeah. I feel like every
Like every
introvert
day.
wants to be a little social.
Yeah.
'Cause
Like, I like
yeah,
my
of course,
alone
like
time.
I would love to go hang out with all you guys. and do that
Yeah.
stuff, but also days I don't care about doing it.
Like we could just meet up online.
Yeah, it's totally fine with me.
Yeah. You know, like me and my oh shit.
Some people that are extroverts, it's really hard for them during COVID because they want to get,
Yeah.
they want to do things but they can't. Like,
Yeah.
so we Darwin, this guy before we go to raves, go to concerts like every single weekend. You know what I mean? So like
Mhm.
with extroverts, it's like, or like you were saying, you like to go out and stuff and be with crowds. There's some people out there that are like still trying to deal with that during COVID. You know what I mean? When they have to be in, nothing's going on. There's no concerts, no Coachella again, type of thing. You feel me? But it's like, finding yourself, finding ways to cope with your stress. And that's like working out.
Mhm.
Shit, if you don't like working out, work out on FaceTime with someone else.
Mhm.
It's really the people around you. And as long as you're consistent with like hitting them up, I think, it really helps a long way.
It's more of like your resilience and your ability to adapt to the situation. Like,
or just even being resourceful. Like
Yeah.
Germ hit it on the nose. Like there's still ways if you are an extroverted person to where you could be around people. Like for me, I work out like with a person I just called Tim. I work out with him and two of his friend or one of his friends and my other cousin. So that's like a group of 4. That's to me that's enough. That's more than enough for me to still get that feeling. When I'm not doing that, I'm playing video games with 4 of my friends. That's like if you notice, I don't really play a lot when it's just one of you guys on, because I'm like I don't do it for that. Like I want to be with the group of people, right?
Yeah,
So that's
like
like
it's the different personalities.
yeah. So I like the group setting of that. When I'm not doing that, I hang out with my mom and dad and grandmother. Like I hang out with Bree or whatever at her house. Like it's always, or even August at his house. Like it's different groups that you can kind of go to. There's ways if you're resourceful enough and you don't let it beat you. You know what I mean? Like there's different things you can do to where you can still be safe and keep your circle close and still be in groups. That's the only way I've gone through. Like it's I find different groups and I always try to stay in those groups. Know when I need to be alone or not even need to be alone. But if I had to be alone, it's not that much because I'm at that point I'm doing my Netflix binges or something or homework.
Well, all right, what are we on the time? All right.
Black History segment.
So you want to go first?
All right, so since it is Black History Month, we decided that instead of doing a hot take, we'd bring some Black history to you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I will start with someone from back in the day. My grandmother, Diane Cam, was the first black woman to graduate from Buffalo State with an engineering degree. So that was a huge deal. She had to go through racism. She had to fight for women's rights back then because they thought that she slept around to even be in the classroom because she was the only woman there. The stories that she tells me were pretty remarkable, how she got through it. And on top of that, she was the first person in her family to graduate college. And she did it all with having 2 kids. She had 2 kids already, was married. Actually, she was divorced. She was divorced by this time and went back to school. And yes, so she's a big deal. Moved out to California, got one of the first engineering jobs out here at some big company. I forgot the name, but yeah, she's a big deal. Diane Cam, aka Nana.
Shout out Nana.
Shout out Nana.
All right, so my mom kind of gave me this idea for us to do because she asked me if I knew who Lee Francis Allen was, and I was like, I have no idea who that is. So just to read what she kind of sent me. Well, just a kind of synopsis. Lee Allen was actually my great uncle. He was married to my great aunt. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So Lee Allen was an American tenor saxophone player. Phil Alvin, Allen's bandmate of the Blasters, called him one of the most important instrumentalists in rock and roll. Allen's distinctive tone had been hailed as one of the most defining sounds of rock and roll and one of the DNAs of strands of rock. My uncle played with some of the greats like Fat Domino's, Little Richard, B.B. King, just to name a few. He died in 1944, but his music and memory lives forever. So yeah, she posted about that yesterday, and I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty dope.
Cool. Guys, you got anybody else?
Kyler, did you have any?
So mine's a little bit more lighthearted. It was something I saw online. I don't have his name right now. All the stuff is on my phone, which is being used to record. If you guys want to Google him, you guys can. But I do know that he is of African American descent. It's the dude who actually created the Super Soaker.
Okay.
And then he also went on to
Where's my Super Soaker?
he went over exactly, and that's what I was saying is like, dang, that's crazy. Like, think of like all the kids that wanted a Super Soaker growing up. And it's like damn near everybody wanted a Super
Lonnie
Soaker,
Johnson.
right? Lonnie Johnson. Yeah, that's exactly why the name stood out to me too. Is because there's somebody I work with whose name is Lonnie, and I think his last name is Johnson too. But
This is Grandpappy.
Mm-hmm.
could be.
You know, he's not even that old.
He's not. And then not only did he create the Super Sucker, but he also went on to create the Nerf guns. So his thing was
Swear.
like, yeah. So his thing was
Wow.
like, I made the Super Soaker, and now it's like, all right, well, how can I replace the water element of the gun with something else? And so he also helped make
Give me
the
some more
Nerf
drink,
guns.
baby.
That's really cool.
And so that's my thing was like, dude, the amount of kids growing up, and even these days, that purchase Nerf guns, that purchase Super Soakers, you know what I mean? Like
Hot summers too.
it was
Hot stuff.
Man.
it was the big thing, you know what I mean? Like it was the toy to
Yeah.
have. And then, you know, for me to discover that, you know, it was a black man who made that happen, I was like, all right, that's dope.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
I know
kind of
That's really cool.
I knew that. I just forgot his name, but I saw that on Twitter.
good, man.
Twitter University.
Yes, sir.
That's cool. I'm gonna actually speak on someone in the present because I think sometimes it's important to recognize when Black history is being made. And I'm gonna talk about Stacey Abrams. She is the former minority leader of the Georgia House of Representatives. She's an attorney. She has a degree from Yale and a degree from University of Texas, Austin. She's brilliant, and you know, she ran for governor of Georgia in 2018 and lost, quote unquote. I say that because she, you know,
Got hoodwinked.
she essentially was cheated. And I want to talk about her specifically because if we look at the times we've been living in, and you really whittle it down to what made the difference in the most recent election and what changed the direction of the country, it really came down to a few key states, one of which was Georgia. And Stacey Abrams' work did not start in this election. She began this work like a decade ago. When I say this work, I mean the work of reaching out to black and brown people in the community who may not be frequent voters and who may not be as engaged in the issues but have a stake in the issues, and who would benefit from the policies that our government passes. And I say that because that work, through the organization called Fair Fight and Fair Fight Action over the last decade, is what built the electorate to make Georgia competitive for a Democratic candidate. And it just so happens that Georgia is what gave Joe Biden his victory, and it also gave us majority in the United States Senate. And her name needs to be said. There's tons of other organizers and brilliant, largely black women on the ground who've been doing the work alongside her, but Stacey led the way. And I think we're all familiar with the ways in which history can be whitewashed. So it's important that we accurately give people their flowers now before anyone can change the narrative. So I want to just shout out Stacey Abrams and the work of every black and brown organizer out there doing the work to make this country better.
Amen. That was good.
Thanks.
Jeremy, you want to say one?
Well, I was actually trying to do some research right now. I was gonna say Oprah, but I kind of wanted to get deeper of like the origins of Black History Month. Like, do you guys know how it came about, type of thing?
Probably.
No, but in the black community, they just wanted to give us the shortest month.
That's damn.
Is that it?
That no.
It just hit him. He didn't.
You didn't think about
He
that?
didn't
No,
think about that. That's always. That's that.
That's
every
crazy.
year.
Do we have a month?
I don't think so.
No, we don't.
I think we have like a week or a weekend or
It's probably
something.
because like slavery.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? They're like, we'll give y'all a month.
And they
Not
decided.
Not
to-
reparations,
just a month.
We'll give y'all a month. We'll give y'all a month just because I know we said we were gonna give you guys all a house
40 acres and a mule.
and a mule, but
And
we're
rights.
not
That's
gonna
so
do that.
wild.
So instead,
Just give you all the shortest
we're
month.
gonna
Here's
give
a
you
month.
28 days so you can talk about your history in history books.
Maybe 29, given on the year.
Maybe.
If you're
maybe.
lucky.
Maybe. And so at this point, you could talk about MLK, Malcolm X, and all these different things. You can make history your time if your school is lucky enough. Okay? And then for the rest of the year, we'll talk about the history that we know. Right? That's it.
But continue.
Continue.
I'm trying to read right now, but it says February right here. So it says that the guy who like pretty much started it up.
I know
Woodson.
it's a black gentleman who started up.
Yes.
Black History
yeah.
Month.
So I guess off of reading this, it was like originally to celebrate the emancipation of the state of Illinois. So that everybody would like travel to Illinois and just and display like the greatness of what they've done, what they created and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to figure out why he chose February. But it says Woodson chose February for reasons of tradition and reform. It is commonly said that Woodson selected February to encompass the birthdays of two great Americans who played a prominent role in shaping Black history, namely Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, whose birthdays are the 12th and the 14th, respectively. So,
Salute.
It's real clever, Woodson. Real clever. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what they selling. Even though shout out Frederick Douglass, who was a juggernaut in history. And I guess Abraham Lincoln did what he had to do too. But
I also have another one. If anybody else have one, it's kind of a one that I feel like we take for granted. But I want to shout out LeBron James, man. His impact off the court as an athlete, as the leader of a major sport, is something that we have not seen in a very long time.
I don't think we've seen.
I don't think ever. Yeah.
I mean, I want to give respect to, like the Kareems and the Muhammad Alis.
Yeah, that's different though.
Right.
That's why I said
it's
for
different.
LeBron, it hasn't been done because what they were doing, they were doing things politically and stuff, but what he's doing is different than what they were doing.
Absolutely
different, but we're not saying more important, right?
No,
We're
yeah,
just
I'm
saying
not.
different.
I'm
Okay,
saying
okay.
it's different that way. He's actually
Yeah.
he's the first because he's doing something. He's in a different lane. Therefore, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, everything I feel like LeBron does on the court and off the court, I feel like sometimes you have to stop back and really appreciate it. From his work with More Than a Vote, like increasing voter turnout, setting up schools in the community, providing scholarships. I mean, you name it, LeBron's in the streets, to use that word, or to use that phrase. So I want to shout out him too, because we don't see too many like that.
I'll say another one. This is someone today too, like you just did. So the woman who just did, the young lady who just did the address for, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
The poem. Yeah. I don't know her name, but she's Black excellence to the core. She's 22, right? And at this point, she's charging 50 racks just to speak at your engagement now.
Double their price.
Yeah, Amanda Gorman. And
She's from LA.
Right.
Yep,
I think do you know exactly what part of LA? I know it was I know it's close to you from what I understand.
From me or him?
I just thought it was South Central generally.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whereabouts, but
it's close to shout
out to her.
But yeah, so that's a big deal. I think she's taken her opportunities and really doing big things. She was a Harvard graduate, from what I understand.
I'm not sure.
Or
I don't know much about her.
she won. I think she is a Harvard graduate, or she won some poetry contest at Harvard, and that's how she was found. But yeah, she's a big deal, and I think in terms of right now, especially that today is like it's I know we're talking about sports again, but it's like Women Play Sports 2 Day today or something like that.
I'm gonna pause you again. We're not gonna keep apologizing. We're talking about sports on our platform, man.
It's in our description to the audience. It's part of our show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We talk about different things on our show.
So yeah, I mean, it's a big time for women right now. I think they're making big strides, deservingly so. I can't wait to see a woman president. Honestly, I'm all for it. We could always use a little different in opinion and just perspective. At this point, what do we have to lose? But yeah, so I just want to shed some light to her and just say, be proud of you. Keep going. If
Salute
you hear this,
to her and
what's
Black
up?
women everywhere.
Yeah. Harvard? Yeah, Harvard graduate. Beautiful. Anybody else?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Well, this is Kontent Kingz. Thanks for rocking with us. Happy Black History Month. Google search some black people. Show them some love. Venmo us.
Support Black
Reparations.
businesses.
All that stuff. But yeah, that's a wrap. Thanks, guys. All right. So last week, for our episode, our Q&A, that was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. We had a poll on who puts ketchup on their mac and cheese, and whoever gets it right, you're gonna get shouted out. So it was about like 50 of y'all who got it right. So I'm gonna shout you guys out. All right. So we got August. What's up, August? We got Angelica Monique, Alyssa Say, D1, DJ, Christian, Franz, my guy Gabriel, Nate, Germ, Mark, Sophia, Dylan from NBA Forgotten Seasons. What's up? Larissa. We got Bree Johnson 96. What's up, Bree? We got Kyle J19. What's up, Kyle? We got Jalen, Mary Yondel. We got my boy Dylan, my old roommate. What's up, Dylan? We got Dono, aka Donovan, aka Donovan J. We got Jess _ What's up, Jessa? We got Marielle. We got Kyler. Percy, Anna, Booger _ WYA. I don't know why that's your name, but we got that. We got who else? It's a long list. Harvey the Ruler, Laura, OG Lolo. We got did I say Carson already? Carson, okay. We got Ahmad, we got Zay4, Ahmad _ Zay4, Jordan Leak, Sade, Sadie. It's Sadie, huh? So look, she spells her title different than like her actual name, so it was her @ different. It was weird. We got Morgan. Hey Morgan, that's my little sister. We got. I think that's it. No, I think it is. These are all the screenshots that were sent to me.
That's all the names?
That's all that was sent to me. That's all the names. I'm looking at all of them. Yeah, you sent royalty. We out. Yeah, that was it. I'm telling you, you sent a lot of them. Like, it's Kontent Kingz. Thanks for participating. You know me well. Ketchup on mac and cheese is fire. Try it if you haven't already. It's a real thing. I promise you. Happy Black History Month. Yeah.
Me and both my niggas kick it in the north side, looking for a vibe on a Friday night. Shit, ain't that right? Me and both my niggas kick it in the north side, looking for a vibe on a Friday night. Shit, ain't that right? Me and both my niggas kick it in the north side, looking for a vibe on a Friday night. Shit, ain't that right? Me and both my niggas kick it in the north side.